There are times in life when the path ahead dissolves into shadows, when each step feels uncertain and our hearts are weighed down by questions. In moments like these, when darkness seems to close in and all certainty is swept away, we are faced with a profound challenge: to trust God even when we cannot see the way forward. Trusting God in the dark requires a different kind of faith. It is easy to trust when life is full of light, when blessings are visible, and each day unfolds according to our plans. But when we stumble into a season where answers are elusive and hope appears distant, our trust is truly tested. In the darkness, we are brought face to face with our limitations. We long for clarity, for answers, for a glimpse of what is ahead. But all we encounter is silence or confusion. Yet it is precisely in these moments that faith finds its deepest expression. To trust God in the dark is to admit that we do not have all the answers, and perhaps we never will. It is to acknowledge that, left to our own devices, we might lose our way entirely. But there is a deeper truth to cling to. Even when we cannot see, God sees. When we cannot find the path, He is the path. Throughout history, countless individuals have walked through their own nights of uncertainty. Think of Abraham, called to leave his home and journey to an unknown land, not knowing what lay ahead, but trusting the one who called him. Recall the story of Joseph, who, forsaken and imprisoned, could not possibly have imagined how God would weave his trials into a tapestry of redemption and rescue for his family and for generations to come. The psalmist, too, knew something of darkness, writing, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Such stories remind us that darkness does not mean the absence of God. Rather, it is in the dark where our need for Him becomes undeniable and where His nearness can be felt most profoundly. We learn to listen amid the silence, to rest even when we cannot see, and to hope when hope itself seems faint. Trusting God in the dark also means surrendering the illusion of control. We are taught, often by painful experience, that we cannot force the future or dictate each outcome. Things happen that we never would have chosen for ourselves. Plans unravel, health falters, relationships fracture, and dreams are deferred or lost. It is tempting in such times to retreat into fear or to grasp for shortcuts, to rely on our own limited understanding and strength. But faith invites us to choose a different way. The way of surrender, of placing our lives in the hands of one who has proven himself faithful time and again. It is a trust that says, "I do not know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow." It is a faith that rests not in answers, but in the character of God Himself, His goodness, His wisdom, His unfailing love. This does not mean that the darkness will always lift quickly, or that pain and confusion will be banished in an instant. It does not mean pretending that everything is fine, or denying the reality of our struggles. Real trust in God is honest. It brings our questions, our fears, our sorrow, straight to Him. In prayer, in quiet moments, or in earnest cries in the night, we pour out our hearts and find He is listening. There is also a deeper assurance that begins to grow almost imperceptibly in the shadows. Sometimes we only realize it in hindsight, a strength we never knew we had, a peace that seems unexplainable, an ability to endure and even to hope again. At the heart of this assurance is the presence of God, sustaining us when our own resources have run dry. This is the comfort of knowing that we are never alone, even in our loneliest night. Jesus himself understood what it meant to trust God in the dark. In Gethsemane, as he faced unimaginable suffering, he prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done." On the cross, when all seemed lost and even his disciples fled, he entrusted himself into the hands of his Father. His resurrection stands as the ultimate declaration that darkness does not have the final word. When we walk through our own seasons of confusion or grief, we can remember that our hope is anchored not in our ability to see or understand, but in Jesus, who calls himself the light of the world. He is the way, the truth, and the life. Even when we cannot find our bearings, he knows the path. When we feel blind, he sees clearly. When our hearts falter, his love remains steadfast. There is encouragement here for all who are weary and troubled, for all who feel lost or overwhelmed. You are not asked to have perfect faith or to pretend that the darkness does not bother you. You are simply invited to trust, to lean on the one who is trustworthy, who walks beside you, and who promises never to leave or forsake you. Sometimes, in the most difficult seasons, God's guidance comes one small step at a time. A single word of encouragement, a timely reminder from Scripture, the support of a friend, or a quiet sense of peace that surpasses understanding. All of these can be tokens of his care. Step by step, we move forward, not always with perfect confidence, but with a quiet assurance that we are being led. Trusting God in the dark is not a passive resignation, but an active choice to believe that his plans are good, even when we cannot see them unfold. It is an invitation to see with eyes of faith, to believe that light will come again, and that even in our confusion, God is working all things for our good. If you find yourself in a season where the way ahead is hidden and the future feels uncertain, take heart. Trust the one who is the way. In your weakness, he is strong. In your doubt, he is faithful. In your darkness, his spice his eye shall stand still. Hold fast to the promise that you are never alone. God's presence goes before you, walks beside you, and remains with you, no matter how shadowed the path may seem. Your story is not over, and the God who leads you in the light is the same God who holds you in the dark. Trust him, for he is the way.